Today we're going to practice multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers using the standard algorithm or the multiplication algorithm. We're still going to find two partial products, but we'll be doing our cross multiplication and using what we all know as placeholders. So we have 35 times 83. The first thing I'm going to do is visualize that area model and figure out what I would be multiplying with a two partial product area model. So I have 35 times 83. So the first thing I'm going to do would be 35 times 3. And I'm just going to put this to the side so that I can see it in my head and follow it as I go along. And then the next part on my area model would be the 8. But we know we have to do the value. So it would be 35 times 80. And now it's that standard algorithm, the normal way that we all learned and practiced. So I'm going to start with my 3 to do 3 times 35. 3 times 5 is 15. Put down the 5 and I'm going to carry the 1. And then to continue with 3 times 35, I've done the 5, so now I'm going to go diagonal and do 3 times 3 is 9. So I've done 3 times 5 and now I'm doing 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. To get 105. Now the next step would be 35 times 80, and we've learned to cover up the zeros in class, but really the way I learned it was that 0 is a placeholder, and that's why that 0 goes right there, because after doing 35 times 8 you would add that 0 back on to the end, but in the standard algorithm we just put it first as our placeholder. And so now all we have to do is 35 times 8. And we'll start with the 8 and do 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm going to put down the 0 and carry the 4. And I could cross out the 1 that I put there before because we don't need it anymore. And then I will do 8 times 3 is 24 plus 4 is 28. And then just like we practiced with our partial products, we will add these two numbers together. So our final answer is 2,905. Let's try one more problem. So this problem we have 70 times 56. So first I'm going to find those two facts and split up my numbers as if it was on an area model. So first would be 70 times 6, and then 70 times 50. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is start with 6 and do 6 times 70. So first I go straight up. 6 times 0 is 0. And then I will multiply the 6 by the 7. 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, now I'm going to do the 5 because I'm done with the 6. But looking at 70 times 50, we've learned to take out a 0, and that 0 is our placeholder. So I'm going to put that placeholder in there so that all I have is 70 times 5. Now I can do my 5 times 0 is 0, and then 5 times 7 is 35. Now that I have my two partial products, I'll add these two numbers together to get my final answer of 3,920.